Welcome to KIRSTIcast, the show where we hope to illuminate, entertain, and engage our listeners, helping them create the life they want. I'm your host, Kirsti Manna. Welcome, everybody, to KIRSTIcast. I'm Kirsti Manna. Thanks so much for being here. Well, today my special guest in the Shero Spotlight is an amazing vocal coach and an amazing teacher. And since I was going to interview her today, I started thinking about what it is to be a teacher. And I think about every time I drive into Nashville, how somebody is always riding my bumper and the teacher in me comes out. What do I mean by that? Well, I don't flip them off. I don't wave my hand at them. I don't honk my horn. I don't slam on the brakes. I slow down. And slowing down is really, really hard for me. And I figure, well, maybe I'll teach them something. Do I? I have no idea. And if you've driven in Nashville traffic as long as I have, you'd probably say, well, the answer is no. Well, I never wanted to be a teacher, and my parents wanted me to go to college to be a music teacher. So I went to college, and the whole time I was there, I kept thinking, I don't want to be a teacher. And when I graduated as a music teacher, I thought, well, I really don't want to be a music teacher. And it's kind of funny that I thought that, because there have been so many teachers up to that point in my life and until now who I have really, really loved. I'm thinking about my vocal coach here in Nashville, the wonderful departed Phoebe Binkley. I'm thinking about my voice teacher when I was a kid, or my piano teacher, or even a teacher that I went back to celebrate with, his 90th birthday, my drama coach from Poland Seminary High School. So there's been a lot of teachers that I've loved. And I realize now I am a teacher. I'm a teacher because I believe that people who are sharing their passion and sharing their knowledge with anybody is a teacher, even if they're not deemed as a teacher, or even if they don't have a degree as a teacher, or even if they don't want to call themselves a teacher. And as a teacher, I want to stay teachable. I want to always be willing to learn new things. I want to be willing to listen to what other people think about what I have to say. And I want to improve myself until I'm gone from the earth. So what is it to stay teachable? Well, you can listen to what others have to say. You can act on what you've learned. You can keep an open mind. And while you're at it, call those old teachers you loved and tell them thanks. Stay with me. We're going to be right back for the Shero Spotlight. Stay tuned for the Shero Spotlight. Welcome back to KIRSTIcast, and I'm so excited to have my guest today in the Shero Spotlight. I met her when I used to share an office in a building on Music Row, a writing office, and she had her vocal studio there, and that's how we met, and I ended up writing with a couple of her students. I always loved her style, and she's just a really great person. So let me tell you a little bit about her. She's a professional vocal coach, vocalist, vocal health specialist, I like that, and founder of Nashville. She works with contemporary singers all over the world, and she's recognized as one of Nashville's top vocal coaches. And from what I've seen her do online, and what I've seen her do with students that I worked with that study with her, I know that's so true. Her clients have appeared on shows such as The Voice, American Idol, Nashville, wow, The X Factor, The Today Show, and Good Morning America. Those are some big credits. And they are major and indie label recording artists, songwriters, stage performers, and those looking to advance their voice and artistry. Please welcome to KIRSTIcast, Mogg Cathey. Nice to have you.
So nice to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited that you're here today. I remember being in the office and hearing you vocalizing with your students.
Constantly. Yes.
And the kids would be waiting out there. You know, it's like a waiting room in a doctor's office. Yep. What's she going to do to help me this week? How do you inspire singers to trust themselves?
Well, I think one of the biggest things is that singers, all of us, don't realize how much we can already do. How much creativity we already have, how much capability we already have. For example, somebody will come in and say, hey, I've got to get this song ready and I can't sing high and I have to hit this high note.
And I always think that that's mental.
Well, a huge
big part
of
of that
mental.
is mental.
Yeah, you're totally right.
And I wanted to interject something, not to take away what you said. And don't forget where you're at.
Yeah.
But when I was in college, I suffered vocal injury, and you know, you and I talk a lot.
Yeah.
I could not talk. I couldn't do anything for about 8 months.
Oh, wow.
My voice got injured. I got polyps on it, and I had to have all this vocal rest. And I ended up having to whistle my sight singing test.
Oh my!
They let me whistle it because I wouldn't have been able to finish the class.
So you were able to whistle, but you weren't able to like speak or phonate otherwise?
No.
Wow.
No.
And not to, I will get back to what I was going to say, but the only thing I'll say about that is 8 months that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's so hard to be without your voice.
Yeah.
And so many singers feel, or voice users feel really badly about that, like shame about a vocal injury. Well, maybe I've done something wrong. And the reality is, like you said, when you use your voice a whole lot, I mean, we talk a lot, but we use our voices all day for our jobs. When that's the case, it's like any other athlete, repeated movement, you're just more likely to have an injury like that.
And that little tiny muscle.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, we work those suckers just the time that you and I are talking. They're just touching thousands of times, which is amazing to me.
It is amazing. What made you get interested in helping people with vocal injury and being a vocal health specialist?
Well, you know, it's funny. I was just talking to somebody about this the other day because obviously, ultimately, connection with other people, right? Telling the story. I mean, for heaven's sakes, look who I'm talking to. But, you know, telling the story, communicating and connecting with others, that's the ultimate goal. But I would work with so many singers who were unable to really express what they wanted to express because of just baseline, vocal health.
Right.
So that's really the foundation of everything that we do. There is no killer song. There's no great tour. There's no podcast. There's no anything without the foundation of vocal health. Right. So, and the more and more I went down that rabbit hole, the more I really loved it and just spent more time there and kind of tunneled down further just because it's a reality for all of us. So I kind of like to start that as the foundation.
Right.
Once you have healthy access to your voice, then we can jump into technique and start to, give you access to everything your voice can do. And then ultimately use all that for our goal of making somebody feel something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And what are some vocal health tips you like to share with students? I know a lot of times, they're really personalized depending on what's going on with that student. But I've learned so many over the years, and you have to know your own voice so you know what works for you, right?
100%. Yeah, and it is so person to person. Those old things that you used to hear, like, gosh, when I was first starting singing, it was like, don't drink milk. I'm sure you've heard, or, don't drink milk. Milk is horrible for your voice. Well, milk's not great for my voice, actually, but loads of people can just chug down a milkshake and sing and they're fine.
Right.
It really just depends on the person. So what I would say is overarching for all of us, they're ones that people don't always love to hear because they're not very sexy. They're really, they're basic stuff like you have to drink water.
Right.
And you have to drink liquid, I guess I should say. And really, I know voice professionals, we just beat that water drum all day long. But it makes a massive difference in the voice. Your chances of injury dramatically go up if those vocal folds are colliding and they aren't hydrated, right? They kind of smack, and when they're hydrated, they gently slide. So stay hydrated, drink enough water, prioritize sleep. A tough one for me and for you probably is, well, I was going to say, it's really just manage your overall voice load.
Yeah.
So if you've got to talk a lot, probably not the time to also belt it out in the car the whole way, or call your friend for an hour Zoom call, or if you've got a big session or performance that day, keep your talking to a minimum, warm up your voice, kind of learn how to balance that workload. So they're not as fun, but they're factual.
Well, and it's you're kind of a slave, for lack of a better word, to your passion. You know what I mean? You have to do or die, those kind of techniques and those kinds of commitments to yourself.
100%. The reality is singers are, and my husband loves to tease me about this, so he'll giggle as soon as he hears this, but they are vocal athletes. And he'll tease me because I'm, eating cookies, talking about what an athlete I am. But what I mean by that is the demands that, not just singers, professional voice users, you talk a lot, same thing. Yeah. The demands voice users put on those muscles, and it's a whole body thing, the muscles in their neck and,
right,
their whole body, their respiratory system, those demands are the same as somebody who goes out and kicks a ball all day, every day. So just like that athlete has to make choices throughout the day to be at the top of their career, vocalists, if they really want to have their best voice, have to do the same thing.
It's so true. Have you ever heard any singer, it could be a famous singer who does something repeatedly and you go, oh my gosh, don't do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. But then again, the caveat is if they do that, even if it sounds, to me, like for the average bear, wow, that's not real healthy. I wish they would go about that a different way. And it probably is not real healthy for them. But there are some people who just, it can work for them. So what I tell everybody is kind of like what you said about vocal health. If it feels good, like you don't have any pain, no tightness, no discomfort, it gives you the sound you want, and you're able to do it over and over again, rock on.
Yeah.
Like, you're totally fine. But if you do it, and either one of those, doesn't feel great, even if it sounds good, it's not going to be consistent.
Right.
Or it feels great, but I really hate it. Well, then that's obviously not what we're going for either. So,
well, I had a vocal coach too that used to talk about, how does it feel? If it doesn't feel right, or there's some kind of pain, and that kind of thing, that you should really be careful. She was also somebody that always told me never sing along with the radio in the car, because it's loud in the car.
Well, so it's don't sing. She's totally right. So yeah, don't sing along with the radio in the car. The other one that kills people that you don't think of is talking on speakerphone.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they've done studies about it. We have this tendency to feel like, even though the phone is right here,
we have to shout.
I've really got to project so that you can hear me.
Yeah.
So we end up way overusing it. And so a lot of us, right, or singers will tell me, well, I warmed up in the car.
Yes.
Because I'll give them tracks. I warmed up in the car, and then I finished my phone calls, and I came to get ready for my 3-hour set. And I'm really fatigued at the end. So a 3-hour set is
that's
unbelievably fatiguing.
Oh, when I think about how my husband Bill and I used to play these gigs, that we would be playing for 4.5, 5 hours, and I was primarily singing everything.
Yeah,
it's when I think about that now, it's like, what was I out of my mind? Like I felt like was like a super heroine or something. I mean, I don't know if I could do that now.
Yeah,
but I was really singing a lot then.
Yeah, totally. Well, and it also depends on how you're singing, right? It kind of goes back to the athlete. Like I tell singers, if you're doing the vocal equivalent, even with great technique and all kinds of health, of like really heavy work, so like weightlifting for 4 hours is crazy talk.
Yeah.
You can't do it for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Or heavy sprinting, you can't do it for 4 hours.
Yeah.
But, 4 hours of like nice relaxed walking, still excessive, but doable. So I think that's the key. I mean, 4-hour set, it's killer for anybody.
Can you talk for a second a little bit about, how do I want to say it? How long it can take a singer to have a breakthrough with their voice?
Yeah. I mean, I wish there was it's like with everything, right? Because when we're working with a singer, it's not just their voice, it's the whole person. Yeah. So there's so many factors. And I know, especially, I put videos out on social media.
Oh, they're
YouTube
so good.
Oh, thank you. But people are always, what they want to hear is 3 ways to the best voice ever. And I certainly can give, just like with vocal health, tips that are going to be healthy for everybody, but it totally depends on the individual. I really do have singers who come in and have a session and feel like, I cannot hit that note. I can't sing high.
Yeah.
And they leave that session realizing they have this whole gorgeous aspect to their voice that they never tapped into. And those are great because they make them really happy. It makes you feel like $1 million.
Yeah, sure.
And then you also have sessions where you're doing all the right things too, and it's going to take time because there's underlying tension, or there's not that part of their voice that they haven't discovered. We have to build that part in. They haven't really utilized that before. So it really depends on the individual. Sometimes it's a matter of a few sessions, and sometimes for people to really reach their goals, it's
months.
Months. And really, right, we're all working towards, there's never an end spot, right? Have you ever gotten to a point where you're just like, well, it's as good as it's going to get done? Like, we don't, it's always, that's what I think is one of the many things that's so exciting about it is there's never an end, right? No matter what I learn or what I can do or what I do with someone, then it just opens up, ooh, well, now we can go,
right,
let's try this. So it's just, I'm hoping I'm going to be learning and going for it, as long as I can.
Oh, I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Well, and I think too, I remember there were times when I was studying vocally, there were times I had breakthroughs, and it was such an aha. It was like, that's what she meant.
Yes, those are the best for the singer and the singing teacher. Like those are the ones where they're just like, yeah.
When it just all clicks and comes together, you know?
Totally. And what I tell singers is, you're not going to have, again, it's motor learning and then artistry, and it's there's so much to it, but you're not going to have aha moments every time.
That's right.
But you should have every single session, whoever you're working with, if you're working with a voice teacher, vocal coach, you should gain something every single time.
Yes.
Whether it's, this makes a little more sense, or this feels a little bit easier, or now I know what I need to do for this. There should always be growth, but those big, like, oh my gosh,
or now I understand why she's having me do these exercises every week.
Yes,
kind
exactly.
Of thing,
That make me look like a crazy person, because most of them are kooky.
Right. I love it. Yeah. So show me one of your favorite warm-up exercises, because it's not super early here today now, but I love your videos on Instagram. They're so great. And
Thank you.
I actually sit and do exercises with you sometimes.
Oh, good. Well, that makes me feel great. Yay. So talk about a silly one that I love. I actually did it this morning on my way here.
Yes.
Just because, again, we're not singing, but we are using our voice. And I beat that drum with people too, just because they feel like, I haven't done anything vocally today. Well, they've talked for like 12 hours.
Right.
That's the same voice.
And warming
Same
up
voice.
too as a songwriter.
Oh,
when you're going to go
100%.
write a song, because you want to talk about getting animated and like, wow, and, yelling or whatever. That happens in writers' rooms a lot.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, you gotta, it's all about just like, get blood flow to those muscles, get them stretching.
Yeah.
So one of them that I love, or the one I did on the way here, does that, gets blood flow to the muscles, gets them stretching. It looks extra goofy because it also releases tension in the jaw and the facial muscles, which a whole lot of us have.
Right.
And then tension in the tongue. Which can really, like, whenever you are singing, and not always, but you feel like, oh, I'm hitting a ceiling, like, what is the deal? Many times, your tongue is just tight as can be. So, it's called the pigeon.
The pigeon. Okay, everybody out there watching, we're going to do the pigeon. Here we go.
The pigeon, because it looks like this. I said very goofy. So, what it is, is a tongue trill. Are you able to... trill your tongue with what's called a blowfish.
Okay.
Yeah, so a great way to feel that, I tell people, take your pinky trumpet.
Okay.
I should have chosen not such a goofy one, but
I love it.
Really works. Take your pinky trumpet and you're going to blow it. That's going to help you give that like kinesthetic feedback on your finger.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So you can just do the blowfish.
Okay.
On a sliding interval.
Okay.
Or what you and I both did, vocal sirens, right? Which is just like playing with the kiddos. Slide up and down.
Woo!
Exactly. Those are great for your voice. So it's a blowfish on a vocal siren with the tongue trill inside it.
Wow. I'm going to have to work on that one. So I could do the trill.
You do. You have it. Yeah. Well, and it's difficult, but it's difficult because all the things that it hits. So yeah, it's a high level one, but it's like that kicks in your respiration.
That's like
your
advanced yoga or something.
It is a little, yeah. It kicks in your breath flow, releases your tongue, releases your jaw and your face, sets up your voice. Like, that's probably why I love it. It's like the lazy person's guide to like, I feel pretty good to go, and all you have to do is that. For people that's too crazy, a vocal siren on a hum, so either HM, or what feels even better is HN. Hmm.
Ah,
Those feel
that's
great?
good.
Yeah, those are great. That gives you that nice kind of buzzy, resonant
Yes.
feeling, sets up your voice. And so start with that.
I will.
And
I
then
love those.
rock towards the pigeon.
Well,
Yeah.
I always have done the siren, and I've never done the blowfish. I like that one.
I use that one all the time. Or some people call it straw without a straw. I don't know if you've
Oh,
ever seen,
yeah.
like, I'll sing with a straw into water.
Yeah.
Lots of people do that. It's great. But we don't always have a straw handy,
That
right?
straw
And water handy.
That straw routine works well for me because
Oh, it works
I've
great.
always had a husky voice.
Yep.
You know, and it is the way it is.
Yeah.
But that really is good recovery for me. Like
Oh.
when I've had to do shows, it's amazing. It's almost like instantaneous, and it's just airflow. You know?
Yeah, well, so it's airflow, but when you do it in water, as the water pressure changes, it really does massage your vocal folds.
Wow.
So as a cool down, it's the best. Yeah, I mean, it's really just like somebody going in there rubbing your vocal shoulders.
I think I need to come and take some lessons with you.
Come on, Kirsti. I would be thrilled to have you.
It sounds like fun. I love
Yeah.
all those exercises you're talking about. So tell me your Stay Inspired story.
I was listening and listened to several of your episodes, and they're all great. Total side note,
Thank
and I was
you.
hearing the people talk about their Get Inspired story, which made me think about mine, and I immediately think of lots of people that have inspired me, that keep me inspired. But if I'm really being honest, if I think about what keeps me inspired now, it's way more than one person. It's all the people that I get to work with. This is very inspiring. Getting to hear great music. I kind of just pull it from everywhere. The great people I get to learn from. So not just the people that I teach, but I get to work with so many great colleagues who equally love what they do, love music, love the voice. And I get so much inspiration and learn from them. So anytime I feel like, because a job is a job. So we all have those days where it's like, right. I love what I do, but man, I'm beat today. And then I go in and start singing with somebody, and I get all energized every single time.
Right. Well, and when you're studying voice with a great coach like yourself, there's something so healing and inspiring. The coach that I had was Phoebe Binkley, and she passed away some years ago. But she was such a great mentor to me. When I would go in and take a lesson with her, there would be times, we would talk about certain things, about my voice or whatever, and then, we would sing, and it just, I always left those sessions feeling so uplifted. I just loved it.
Oh yeah, well, and you think about all the things like for, mental health, which that's a conversation for another time, but man, that impacts singing hugely.
Oh, yes.
Because again, our bodies are instruments, so you're really stressed, or your muscles tighten in response to that. But when you think about the things that are helpful for that, if you're feeling stressed, okay, well, let's do some real deep, purposeful breathing.
Yeah.
Well, that's singing.
Right.
Let's connect with other people helps with that.
Yes.
That's what we do when we're singing together. I mean, music is such a healer, a therapeutic tool. So that's why kind of no matter what's going on, once I jump in there and start singing and working with them, we all feel better.
Yeah. That's so
which is a great benefit to that.
Yeah, that's really, really nice.
Yeah.
Well put. So what is your power word? You seem like you have a lot of them.
It's funny because I was going to say, I would say people that know me well would say my word is verbose. That is for sure true. I would say balance. And the reason why I say that is I think we can take that into everything. Here comes the verbose part. So, whether in singing, we're talking about balance between your low end and your upper end, like literally the musculature that needs to be balanced to be a good singer. In songs, the balance between, sound and silence and what that creates. I mean, the balance between hustling and taking care of yourself, right? Self-care,
right.
Family and work. It's,
right.
As women, I feel like we have to do more balancing than, we just have to do a lot of balancing.
It's really true.
It's constant.
And I think as women, we expect a lot out of ourselves.
100%. Yeah.
And so we're constantly, trying to figure out, what are we supposed to be doing with this small amount of time that we have, and we want to do all these things, and then the things that we don't do for ourselves in the self-care department.
100%.
So those of you out there that are listening to this podcast, if you are listening to everything that Amber's saying, I think one big shining thing in this whole conversation has been about self-care. You know, you're talking about all these exercises vocally and everything.
Yep.
That's self-care for your voice, self-care for you, like you were talking about, you know, doing the straw exercise, and it massages, you know, your vocal cords. And it's really, it's not scientific, it's just time.
Yeah,
taking
100%.
time.
And you know, I would say it's taking time, self-care, and that's pretty scientific too, actually, if you want to go nerdy about it. That's not just, I think we all have a tendency to feel like self-care is a bonus, that if I can work it in, but literally taking care of ourselves is key to making our body, our brains, our music, everything, our voice work its best. So if we can try, and again, I say balance, I need more of it. I'm working on that too, but it's an important piece that we should prioritize.
But I think we share this, you know, when you're excited about and passionate about your work and, you know, what you want to share with the world, the balance part gets tough, you know, because you meet people you want to help and that kind of thing. You go, I don't need to do that for myself today.
That is 100% what I do. Yes, I'm like, here's my boundaries. I'm not doing more than this. And then I'll add you in here.
Right, you know? Right. I have time.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
The me can wait.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So leave me with this today. What is something you're really grateful for?
Oh, gosh. I mean, I'm a pretty grateful, optimistic person. That doesn't mean that I always feel like that people think that means you're just happy all the time. That is not the case.
Yeah.
I think optimism is how if I start to get overwhelmed, I'm like, okay, I got to find that silver lining.
Yes.
And so I strive to do that, and I sure have a lot to be grateful for. I mean, ultimately, I could say so many music things, but it's my family. When we talk about balance, I have 3 kids. My youngest is a first grader. My oldest is a freshman in college.
Wow.
My husband, my great parents, extended family. They're a fantastic foundation for everything else that I do.
That's great. That's beautiful. Yeah. You're so well spoken. I love talking to you.
Oh, thank you. I love talking to you too. We can just.
We're just getting started.
Can you have an hour-long podcast?
Yeah. You need to come back.
I'd love it.
You need to come back.
I would love it.
So tell us, Amber, where can anybody find you? Anybody that's interested in coming for classes with you or lessons, or where can they find you on Instagram? And
Yep. So easy. Nashville Vocal Studio. So website, NashvilleVocalStudio.com. Instagram, Nashville Vocal Studio. TikTok, Nashville Vocal Studio. YouTube. I'm on too many places, I think. Nashville Vocal Studio. And even if they, even if somebody just has a question about anything we've talked about, like, okay, vocal health, whatever, if I can help, I will.
Well, great. Well, thank you so much for being here. I really enjoyed it.
Me too.
Everybody, this has been Amber, Mogg, Cathey here in our Shero Spotlight. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back.
You're my Shero, more than a hero, and I look up to you every single day. Every day, my celebration, my inspiration is to be like you, but in my own way. You're my Shero, more than a hero.
I've spent years of self-discovery learning how to live a successful creative life. That's why I created my course, Spark Your Creativity, the Steps to a Successful Creative Journey, to help others discover their own potential. Your creative journey never ends. So why not invest in yourself and sign up for my course today at Kirsty.com. See you on the journey. Thank you so much for being with me today on KIRSTIcast, and a special thanks to our amazing Shero Spotlight guest, Amber Mogg Cathey of Nashville Vocal Studio. I hope you're going to listen, and download this episode, share it with everybody, and tell everyone that they need to check out KIRSTIcast. I want to thank Funhouse Studios for hosting us today. And also, if you have somebody, or if you yourself would like to be a guest on KIRSTIcast, then email me at info@songwritergirl.com. Hope you're going to have a great week. And whatever you do, stay inspired. You've been listening to KIRSTIcast.